Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Natalie?
Yes.
All right, welcome. Let's see where you're going. Lago
Villaggio.
Villaggio. Well, you say it well. Well, you're from there, so. Well, I mean, it sounds Italian. You're not Italian, are you?
I am not. I'm all Ukrainian actually.
Ukrainian?
Yep.
Oh.
Italian just by marriage.
Oh, God. Oh, well, but you are Italian by marriage?
No, my husband is Italian.
Oh, there you go. Wow, that's international. So, Natalie, do I have your permission to record a ride?
Yeah, of course.
For my YouTube channel?
Oh, yes, of course.
You don't mind?
No, not at all.
Okay, then I'm gonna give you my card. You can check out the video later.
Okay.
Now, if you have any phone calls, I'll cut those out. And if you want to be just doing your emails on your phone, that's fine too.
Okay.
But other than that, I do have a lot of questions for you.
Certainly.
I mean, Ukrainian. First of all, how did you meet your husband if he's from Italy?
Well, he's not from Italy. He's of Italian descent. So I
okay.
met him on vacation.
On a holiday?
Yeah.
In Italy?
No, actually in the United States.
Oh, in the U.S. Oh, okay. And then where did you get married? Here?
No, we actually lived up in New York State. We were in the city when we first got married, and then we lived up in upstate New York.
So you were already living in New York. So when did you come to the U.S.?
We came down to as a child.
Oh, okay. Way before the war.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that has nothing to do with that.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, that must be awful though for you to come from a country and see your country go to war like that.
Oh yeah, it is,
and then
definitely.
I'm sure that you still have like family and.
Yeah, I still have a lot of family. It is. It's a terrible thing.
I'm noticing that it's getting really dark, so I may not be able to publish this ride.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm just saying, like, because if it gets too dark, then it's
No, I understand. No worries.
You still have a lot of family, you said. Are they doing okay, or?
From what we can tell, yeah. I mean, I'm in touch with some of them, lost touch with some over the last couple of years. But, a lot of people have relocated. But, it's hard. It's a hard situation on everybody.
It's crazy. I mean, I never expected that in my lifetime, I would see a war like that anymore. I thought that that I was just never ever expecting these kind of things.
Well, yeah, after the Second World War, I think most people thought,
right?
We had Vietnam, and we had the Korean conflict, but I don't think anybody expected anything like this. I mean, in such a developed country. Libya
and Afghanistan, and there's been a lot of little wars, but not for territory.
Exactly.
Not like
this is back
an invasion to try to grab territory.
Right.
It's just not done anymore, I thought.
Well, and that whole area has kind of went back and forth, I mean, even the border of Poland and Ukraine had went back and forth so many times over the years. Yeah, like my mom was born in 1925, and the area that she was in at the time was Poland.
Okay.
But by the time, she was a bit older and was growing up, it was the Ukraine.
Oh, really?
And it went back eventually to Poland, so that even that border went back and forth a bit.
Huh. But that was in the 20s, so that was before the Second World War.
Right,
so
and exactly. So then, during the Second World War, that was that border changed.
Yeah.
And then eventually it changed back again.
Yeah.
So,
because of those wars, yeah.
But a lot of that land, and they're not, the Russian culture is really not their culture. The people in the Ukraine are more Slavic and Polish, and their traditions are different. Their whole culture is different.
Because there is also a strong connection between the two. Because
of course,
heard something like that. Kiev used to be a capital of not of Russia, but
of the Ukraine.
Well, it is now, but it was also an important city in the Russian Federation in the past or something?
Well, I think you're going back way back. I mean, practically Bolsheviks and you're heading way back, for that, because it was more of an important city, to the Ukraine than it would be really to Russia. I mean, they basically it's kind of the breadbasket. They call it the breadbasket of Russia. I mean, they have the most fertile land. They border on the Black Sea. So there's a lot of reasons that it was an attractive piece of land to the Russians, I think.
I suppose that's what Russia is after.
Well, yeah, it has the seaports there,
Exactly.
Right on there, and then again, the land is very fertile, and it's all farm country.
Yeah.
So you can see why they want it, but it's those poor people have fought for so long to be an independent nation, and it's just sad to see that it was taken away from them so quickly.
Yeah, but also, what is Putin thinking? That he can really walk into a country and just say, now this is mine, this is part of Russia? It doesn't work like that anymore. The whole world, except China maybe, protests these things. And you do get the whole world against you.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not doing any good in Russia.
No, and it doesn't really seem to be bothering him much, though. I mean, that does not seem to be something they're... Because it is quite,
But if you say A, you have to say B,
Yeah.
So once he came up with this plan for whatever reason, he cannot back out of it anymore, because he would lose face, and he would lose his job. So he will always try to continue as much as he can.
Yeah, but it's so sad, because it's not, all it is doing is causing a lot of, it's fatalities, and
Oh yeah.
It's just destroying, in a way, he's destroying the Ukraine anyway, because their, whole economy and everything is falling apart because people are fleeing.
I imagine.
They're taking their families and fleeing.
That's very sad. Because what is he thinking? That he can just invade the country, and then the country will just say, oh yeah, great, now we're a part of Russia, hooray. No.
Apparently.
I mean, everybody's gonna revolt, right?
Well, that's it. Do you really want people to be a part of your country who are vehemently, against it? It doesn't sound like it's, I mean, again, I think he was just after the land and what he could get from, from it. I don't think the people are ever a part of the plan. They could all pretty much up and leave, and I don't think it would matter to his plan.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's just old style, Hitler style, kind of from the old ages, land grab.
Yeah.
So weird. Well, prosperity comes from, doing business together. You have something that I want, and I have something that you want. Let's sell and trade. Let's, that's good for all countries.
Right, yeah, but that's not...
just grabbing what is not yours is not the way of life.
That's part of the philosophy and of that country for so long, of Russia. It just seems to be that something that they've, a way that they've operated for so long with communism, and their whole thinking was just backwards compared to the rest of the world.
Maybe actually something good comes out of this. Maybe, after all the suffering, because something good needs to come out of it. In the end, I don't see it really yet, but maybe communism will fail because of this.
You have to hope that it's going to, that this display is going to turn a lot of, people maybe that were on the fence globally about whether or not it, was a good system.
Yeah.
Because if there's ever been anything to attest to the fact that it's just, horrible.
Right.
To the people, to the economy, to the, to everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's change subject for a moment, because I'm getting depressed. No, sorry, it's not true, but it is sort of a depressing subject, though.
Oh.
So.
Hang on 1 second.
Oh yeah, sure, no problem.
Hello. Bye.
So I'll cut that out.
Okay. Thank you.
So do you mind the light?
No, not
Actually,
at all.
I'm trying to save the video. I have never used the light before, so there's no guarantees, but I can see your face a little bit better.
All right, yeah, it works, sure.
So, yeah, let's see. I'll check it out tonight. So I picked you up from the hospital. Do you work there, or were you visiting?
No, I work there. I work at the academic, it's the academic residency clinic. So it's where the doctors, first, second, and third year doctors, residents practice.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of a learning and teaching environment, which is nice.
Oh, nice. That is nice. I didn't know that they have that. So it's like quarters or little places where doctors that are learning
Right.
can live.
Yeah, well, it's not even so much to live, but to work. You know, they work. They start practicing.
Oh,
so they're
okay.
out of medical school. So their first, second, and third year of their residency is where they work.
Oh, you call that residency, yeah?
Yeah. Their residency is their right for in medical terms. That's the first 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're first out of medical school and first practicing.
Sure. And then what do you do?
So I work there and do scheduling with the patients and that type of thing.
Okay.
Setting them up for their appointments and
All
for
right.
their different tests and that, all
Mhm.
that.
How did you end up in Naples? So you live here and work here?
Yeah,
You're from New York.
I am, but I came down. My dad had dementia, and
Ah.
I brought him down here. He was living up in New Jersey, right across the river from New York, but couldn't live by himself anymore. So we sold his house, and I brought him down here.
Oh, yeah.
But we wound up getting down here right in the beginning of COVID.
Oh.
So, he had one good year being able to kind of sit and look out, which was good because he would have been trapped in his house. He got to sit and look out at his lanai, at the birds, and,
Oh, yeah.
the weather. And then
Nice.
he was here for a year and he passed.
Oh, really? You passed that fast after after you get dementia? You pass fast?
You can. In his case, he did. Sometimes they can deteriorate quite quickly.
Oh.
So in his case, he did. So it was kind of a blessing for him too. He was 93.
Oh, that's
So,
a beautiful age.
Yeah.
But I can imagine that it's in a way it's a blessing because the dementia is what I'm hearing. It's not a nice disease.
No, it basically steals the person's whole identity. If you roll down the one in the back, if you can, I don't know. Yeah, I can show her my ID.
Hello. Hi.
Natalie.
Hi.
Have a good night.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Lord. Oh, you're famous.
Yeah, it's nice to live in a community where at least they know who you are, coming in and out.
Okay, then. Yeah, for sure. That is nice.
Yeah, so everyone kind of thought that I would go leave after my dad passed, but
yeah.
it's nice down here, and
You like it, yeah.
I don't want to have to deal with the snow and
Yeah. And you find yourself a nice
shoveling
job.
snow and doing anything like that. So
Yeah.
so decided to stay.
Sure.
You can't beat that.
Well, my condolences for your dad.
Oh, thank
And may
you.
he rest in peace.
Well, he had a good long life. He was a merchant marine, circumnavigated the globe 3 times.
He did 3 times?
On a
Wow.
ship, totally. I mean, he
Sure.
had
Yeah,
all
yeah.
kind of other voyages, but they went
Mhm.
completely around 3 times, which is kind of fascinating.
It is. I wish I could have met him.
Yeah, he was
That would have
definitely
been,
a conversationalist and loved
really?
to share his stories, and grew up traveling a lot.
Always seems very attractive to be on a merchant ship, traveling the world, and
Yeah, he
Yeah.
back in those days especially, this was kind of he was in before World War II, and then continued on after it. So
oh really? He was already in World War II on a
yeah,
ship?
yeah, 62, yeah. So he was actually during the war. They were sending them into all the war zones.
Wow.
So they're one of the least understood branches because they technically weren't recognized as military personnel and didn't get any kind of veterans benefits or anything until 1984, I believe. They finally passed it. So these poor guys were all technically veterans of the war, the Second World War.
But didn't get any
And didn't get anything
benefits.
until then,
Wow.
Yeah, because then they finally, it was, a bunch of them kind of fought and got it passed through Congress because by nature they were all sent into, they're bringing in the supplies. So you can have people that served in the Army or the Navy that never set foot in a combat zone, where these guys were all being sent into them.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, so and they had more casualties per capita, if you look, than any of the other, percentage-wise, than any of the other branches of the military. So,
Of course.
yeah, so the American Merchant Marine were very misunderstood, but
Yeah, with the U-boats, the submarines, shut a lot of them down. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of them, you know. So
But so
all the guys, he belonged to a. I'm up here on the left with the white car.
Okay.
But he belonged to a veterans group. I used to go with him every week and talk to these guys. And I tell you, their stories were better than anything you could watch on TV or any movies.
I wish I would have. Yeah.
Well, it was very nice chatting with you.
Yeah, nice chatting with you too.
And thank you so much.
Nice meeting you. And have a good night.
Have a good day.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye-bye.